Although 3 in 4 teens think investing is important, fewer than 1 in 4 have actually started. Kelly Lannon, Senior Vice President of Emerging Customers at Fidelity Investments, joins us to discuss the findings of this year's study, including how teens feel about investing and what their money goals are. So thank you so much for joining us. Let's start with this. What are 3 ways teens can improve their investment literacy?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Jordan. And, the first thing is I look to having money conversations, specifically with one's parents, talk about money. Teens tell us that the best way to learn about investing is about money is really from their families. So start with having those conversations. The second, look for access to tools, to education, to actually begin having your money questions, your financial literacy questions answered. For example, the Fidelity Youth app. With the Fidelity Youth app, teens ages 13 through 17, they can save, spend, and invest with their own money with parental oversight. You can start investing with as little as $1. You have access to a debit card. You could earn money. And then there's a ton of free education in the app, videos, tutorials, etc. And third, and this can be a tough one, I think we all agree that the best way to actually learn something is by doing something. So parents out there, teens out there, you have to start by making some money decisions on their own. Parents, you can help your teen by helping them with questions, building confidence. But teens out there, start making some of those decisions, maybe some mistakes on your own. And that's often one of the best ways to learn.
Well, the teens who are making money moves, what are they doing right now? What are you seeing out there?
Yeah. And so, our Fidelity 2023 Teens and Money study found that nearly 1 in 4 teens, they've already started investing. And most teens who haven't, they plan to do so in the future. Teens, they're already earning income through allowance, gifts, working, they have jobs. So yeah, those teens, they're really making those money moves. And given all this, it's really important, back to your first question, that we ensure teens have access to financial education and tools to really help them to continue to make the most of their money.
Well, apps were not a thing when I was a teenager, so I think this would have been really nice to have when I was
Yes.
younger. So let's talk about myths. What are some common myths teens believe about investing?
Yeah, the first one is that often teens, they believe that they're too young to get started with investing. And that is not true. With the Fidelity Youth app, you can start investing as early as 13. And that brings us to our next myth. There's a common myth that it costs a lot of money to start investing. Again, not true. Teens can actually start investing with as little as $1. And the third bucket is that investing is often too risky. The associated risks with investing. But by having these conversations early and ensuring you're educated and sometimes replicating some of the moves that your parents are making, you can do a good job of protecting yourself from any risks associated with investing.
And is there a gender gap with teens and financial knowledge? And if so, how can we bridge that divide?
Oh, great question. And Jordan, as a mother of 2 young girls, I'm personally very passionate about this topic. And the gender gap, it does begin early. And our study found that teen boys are more likely than teen girls to report positive thoughts, feeling eager, well-informed when they think about financial topics. And previous studies of ours have shown the same thing. They've indicated that parents are talking about money, how to invest with their sons earlier and more often than they are with their daughters. So why it's so important for parents to talk to all of their children about both money and investing.
All right, Kelly, well, let's give them some resources then. Where can teens go, or even parents of teens, to get more information and to help them start
Yes.
investing?
I'm so glad you asked. Go to the App Store right now and download the Fidelity Youth app or visit fidelity.com/youth to learn more.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for helping us out with that today. And if you'd like to see this interview again, just head to our website, firstcoastliving.net.